The world's defense giants meet in Dubai, where the next big contract might just take off.
I'm Mehta.
And I'm Michael Marrow.
Michael, we're here to preview the 2025 Dubai Airshow, and let's start with the show before the show.
Right, so that's the Dubai International Air Chiefs Conference. That's on Sunday. And this is an interesting conference because it's an opportunity for all the kind of Western-aligned militaries to get together, discuss strategy, technology, those kinds of things. The last of this conference in 2023 was also extremely interesting because it was just after the Hamas attack on Israel.
Yeah, literally just a couple of weeks later.
Right. So things may be a little bit more settled now because of the ceasefire in Gaza, but there will be a lot to discuss. Regional air defense, strikes on Iran, and of course, all the new technologies. You know, CCA, Collaborative Combat Aircraft, was a huge topic of discussion in 2023, and I'm sure it'll continue to be one this year.
Yeah, it's more of the policy strategy side of the show before we get into the industrial side, which is when we start the Dubai Airshow the next day. We haven't gotten a lot of kind of pre-flight announcements about what might be coming at this point, but we're expecting something along the lines of new agreements with a local champion.
Right. So I think a company to keep an eye out for is definitely Edge Group. This is the UAE's local champion. And, you know, there's a big ramp in defense spending going on around the world. And a lot of countries that are ramping up defense spending want their own kind of indigenous capabilities. Yeah. So Edge Group is a great example of this approach where they say, you know, we'll partner with anyone, but there needs to be some domestic industrial offset. So I anticipate at least some announcements along those kinds of lines, if not with Edge Group, then with other companies.
Yeah, of course, there's a national push to have stuff built in the UAE. Another thing, obviously, we'll be keeping an eye on is potential foreign military sales from the US, because there's been a little bit of an effort for the Trump administration to make that work faster. Speaking of FMS, the other thing that we need to keep an eye on is actually not relevant necessarily for the UAE or for the Dubai Airshow, but could be if it happens.
Right, and that's the arrival of Saudi officials here in Washington. A delegation led by Mohammed bin Salman will meet with President Donald Trump. And something that there's a lot of expectation around potentially is an F-35 deal.
Yeah, gossip and rumors. This is something that obviously the Saudis have pursued for a while. It seemed like it might get done in Trump 1, didn't end up pushing forward with the Biden administration. Again, nobody is exactly sure if this is going to happen or not, but there's a lot of smoke around, hey, something with the F-35, whether it's at least a recommitment to getting it done or actually an agreement signed, is going to happen. If that does happen in Washington, the next day at the Dubai Airshow, that's going to be everything.
The talk of the town, for sure.
Obviously, of course, the UAE also has wanted F-35s. And you got to think if the Saudis get it, the UAE is going to go, wait, hold on, we're next. So obviously that would matter quite a bit for the show if it happens.
That's right.
So Michael will be on the ground at the show. Agnes Halou, who's our Middle Eastern Bureau Chief, will be there as well. Daniel Wolfork, who's our video guy. If you see them, they're probably running around the very large show. Please give them a bottle of water, maybe some lunch. They'd appreciate it. Of course, you can also keep up at Breaking Defense for all of the news from the show, as well as video wrap-ups every day. Please make sure to check back early and often for that. Till then, I'm Mehta.
And I'm Michael Marrow.
Thanks for watching.